Peace. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Man, campaign show live lunch hour. Uh, little delays or whatnot. Just tapping in. Had to take care of some familiar business with a brotherhood, not the other hood. Peace and blessings to y'all. And this is just a brief little episode entitled "Why Don't Certain, Not All, but Certain of our Sunni brothers want a live stream dialogue or conversation with me?" And I'm learning more and more about how it seems to be, unfortunately, just a small segment. It's just a small segment of the popular the brothers that call themselves, the Sunni brothers community. And of course, I'm doing my research, I'm doing my investigation, I'm doing my reaching out to brothers and seeing that the majority that I'm coming across don't share the same sentiment as like the Mutah and the Germantown G-Town Masjid community. They generally have the same beliefs, and that's not like a deal breaker for us. We clearly don't believe in mystery definition or interpretation of Allah, mystery ghost interpretation, and they definitely don't believe in Allah in the person of a man like Master Father Muhammad. And that's not a deal breaker. That's not a deal breaker. That's not something that's supposed to keep us away from each other or keep us from looking at, focusing on the real enemy, the biggest enemy. But in this case, it seems to me that the real enemy or the big enemy is the one that's feeding those elements in the streets among our community, that's willing to slander us or call us, wicked and demonic and all that type of stuff. That seems like that's being funded, that's being sponsored by elements or a branch of the real enemy. Because the majority of my Black Sunni Muslim brothers and communities ain't on that time. They're not on that energy. We disagree about what we disagree about as far as interpretation, but they don't accuse us, the NOI, of having the character to unalive women and babies, like Mutah been pushing. So I got to keep on singling out Mutah because he was pushing that. He was the one jumping behind the Germantown majors slander and inserting the element of emotional outrage regarding the unaliving of his parents. The unaliving of his parents that he's promoting. It's not Brother Cam is bringing up nothing. He the one has brought it up. He the one is pushing that. I ain't lied on him at all. I haven't lied on him. I haven't reached and grabbed and found or did some private research. I ain't doxed him. I ain't doxed him or nothing. I ain't made no threats to him. None of that. I only held him to his own public words. And now he don't want to talk about him. He does not want to have a conversation, a dialogue. And seems like nobody that's on his side wants to have that. Not just him, but he's the only one attaching the NOI's name to unaliving his parents when he was 3 years old. And like I said, that's traumatic, that's horrible, that's terrible, that's not acceptable. But why are you saying the NOI did it, or the members of the NOI did it? So anybody that is echoing that battle cry or echoing that slander cry or echoing that sin cry, then that's who I'm addressing. So I just wanted to clarify that from what I'm running into and what I'm seeing and hearing and investigating, the majority of our Black Sunni brothers don't have that same sentiment. Of course, they disagree, and they could say that we're kafirs or shirk because of our belief in Allah and the person of Master Fard Muhammad. But yeah, we understand that. We can say that they shirk too. We can say each other shirk, but are we trying to save our people? Are we in these streets trying to save our babies? Hang on 1 second. 1 second. Let me. Yeah. Peace. That was actually my brother again on the FaceTime. Let me see. Let me pop out. Let me show y'all. That was my brother right there. That's who I was hollering at. Any of y'all recognize my brother right there? That's my brother Tariq Muhammad from Philly, I believe North Philly. But we'll leave that alone and get back to what we was talking about. This is just about, us clarifying that everybody ain't on the same time. All our Muslim, I don't. When you hear me promoting and going at Mutah or the Germantown masjid or whatever, that's not me going at all Sunni Muslims. It's just, unfortunately, Mutah used his parents unaliving, and he uses other communities of Sunni Muslims as weapons to throw rocks at us, like how he lifted up Wallace Wardeen, may Allah be pleased with him, and he was throwing that at the NOI and throwing that, So you got to look at the tactics of why he's doing that. Why is Mutah using his public celebrity and platform and affiliation with Tupac? And why is he directly there with the Saudi, the Saudi, Arab, the money people? So is he speaking for himself, or is he a mouthpiece for somebody else? Is he speaking for himself, or is he a mouthpiece for somebody else? Is he a mouthpiece that they know, like if the white man or the small caps and everybody knows to use Black rappers to push their agenda? If they got any kind of campaign, they want to run for president, they want to sell a hamburger, they want to sell this, they're going to use a Black rapper to sell it, to promote it and sell it, because they know that, Black rappers, especially Black male rappers, seem to be the most influential people on the planet. If you're trying to promote or propagate something, you use a Black rapper, even a Black female rapper, if you're trying to push certain type of immoral smut images of our people. But Tupac, they see is the biggest, biggest rapper, or that's no longer with us. Tupac and Biggie, but Biggie wasn't never into that. Biggie wasn't never close enough to, Islam or Arabs, Saudi Arabia or Mecca Islam. So the closest one that is and was Mutah, and but with his affiliation with Tupac. So I'm looking deeper and deeper into that. I'm tuning into that, and I'm seeing that, even Mutah is not the real, he's not the mastermind behind what he's saying. He has handlers. He has Arab handlers. I'm talking about mental and spiritual and financial handlers. From what I'm seeing, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they won't even agree to have a dialogue or a discussion to refute them claims. I want to ask some questions you know, that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get be able to ask. So I'm just putting it out here this one-way street way, and then he's going to either respond or not, or his people is going to respond or not, but I'm keeping it specific. This is specifically towards Mutar and his community of Sunni Muslims, whether they represent Black, Arab, whatever they are. If that community or, you know, that group agrees that the NOI unalived his parents, I don't care. We all understand that we disagree about theology and interpretation of what a lie is. We already know that. That's not the issue. But it was another dynamic, another element was brought into this that had to do with unacceptable unaliving. You know, I got to be careful. You know, unacceptable actions of force that leads to unaliving of his parents. So nobody is supposed to jump and get behind that, because that's a 1,000% hearsay. And if you don't bring no witnesses, no receipts, and nothing like that, then that's 1,000% slander. Slander. So you can't claim to be a Muslim. You can't claim to be a real Muslim or Arab Muslim or a Saudi Muslim or nothing if you back in slander. If you're echoing or backing or sponsoring or supporting or encouraging slander, and we know what slander is, then that's the real enemy. That's the real Satan manipulating us through our emotions. Mutar is being manipulated, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. Mutar has been manipulated. He has been manipulated and sponsored and rewarded to spread that type of slander, associating the unaliving of his parents when he was a little boy in front of him with the Nation of Islam. Straight up. Otherwise, we don't have no issue, no issue different than what we always had, because the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, before he even departed, told Minister Farrakhan, find a way to unite with the Muslim world. Find a way to unite, not give up. Point number 12, not give up the foundation of our success, which is, our belief in Master Father Muhammad being Allah. No, we're not giving that up ever. That's never going to happen. But based on that, still try to find a way to unite with the Muslim world. So I wanted to play this DM. This is today a DM from this post I put up on my Instagram. So I'm not going to disclose the names of nobody that be in my DM, but I'm gonna start exposing some of these DMs and just edit out the name and the picture or whatever, so you can just see what I be dealing with on a daily basis by defending the NOI from false unaliving of Mutar Bill's family. This is from the post that I had that said, we NOI are absolutely disbelievers in your interpretation of Allah God not being a human. And this is a person that got in my DM and said, why don't you stay out of our masjid then? Why don't you stay out of our masjid then? Why come visit? Teach what you've been teaching and stop becoming more adapt to Islam. You just started having Juma in the 90s, in the late 1990s. Why change? You just start fasting with the Muslims in the late 90s. Why change? Your Ramadan is in December. Your venues for Savior's Day has gotten smaller. Come to Islam. So I'm gonna read my comment and then I'm gonna go kind of react to that. It says, why don't you just have a live stream dialogue with me for the public to see and hear us, instead of always typing back and forth on my thread or hitting my private DMs, right? Or making monologue posts about us. Why not just have a live stream dialogue? You in my DM right now, or you on my wall right now? Because I guess, if they respond to my stories, it goes directly to your DM. So he might not have tried to be in my DM, but that's what happens if you comment on somebody's stories on Instagram. Your comment goes directly to that person's DM. So this is my DM. So you either on my wall or you on my DM, but you're still not willing to talk directly with me in a live combo for the people to see. But he said, matter of fact, let me go back to this. He says, well, let me keep going. Why don't you get on the live dialogue with me? He said, you missed the invite from G-Town Majors, right? You missed the invite. They had a 2-hour lecture on live stream on Sunday, and you know it. You ignored it. So right under that, you see that I posted a screenshot. The screenshot is of when they had that thing. That's the first post that even got me involved in this in the first place. This is before Mutah. This is before, anybody else that even addressed me. I'm getting directly at this Germantown masjid official with their whole little series that they had going against the Nation of Islam. So I said something like, greetings, I'm a 35-year-old veteran, FOI. Are you willing to get on live stream with me? You know what I'm saying? And just discuss this. It wasn't no beef. It wasn't no nothing. And then his response to me was, we are having a seminar this Saturday on the reality of the NOI and their heretical beliefs, and an invitation for them to accept the religion of Islam. You are more than welcome to attend in person and have a live discussion. And keep in mind, this is in Philadelphia, right? I said, are you willing to get on live stream with me tonight or right now? I shouldn't have to fly to Philadelphia where y'all are in person, right? Still not dissing, still no dissing, but I'm responding to their dissing and their slander, but I'm cordial, respectful, engaging, and he's engaging me back. And then it's, so I showed him that. So I said, y'all sure are good at jumping out there and making false claims about us without knowledge. Cause he said, it was an invite and I ignored it. No, I didn't ignore it. Not only did I not ignore it, I responded like this. And I was the last one that left a comment that he seen last week. I said, I shouldn't have to fly to where y'all are in person, right? He ignored it. He ignored that last communication. Right. So let's keep going. He said, so once I showed him that receipt, I said, y'all sure is good at jumping out there making false claims without knowledge of the facts. And his answer now is, well, I can't answer for them why they didn't go live with you. What? Wait a minute. Didn't you just accuse me of ignoring them? But now I show you the receipts and prove that you a slanderous liar like the rest of them. Now you're going to say I can't answer for them, why they didn't go live with you. But don't you still have qualified members in Philly? You're just one person. What the hell do that got to do with what we talking about now? You talking to me and I'm talking to you. What do you mean qualified members in Philly? So I was like, y'all are hilarious. And then he said, DM Mutah and go live with him. I'm like, oh Lord, what are you, a 3-year-old? Are you in the sandbox? Did you snatch your parents' phone and use it without them knowing it? Are you a minor? DM Mutah, go live with him. I said, you DM him for me and ask him what his reply has been towards me. No, you do it. Now, Pee Wee Herman. No, you do it. No, you do it. No, like, man, that's sad. I said, so are you willing to get on live stream with me today and let the public see us have a conversation? And then his response was, talk to Mutah since you are expert on his family. Like, okay, well, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. That was my last comment right there. Straight clown. Since I'm an expert on his family, why would I be an expert on Mutah's family? No, I'm just trying to be an expert in tracking down the receipts and the proof and the witnesses and the data about the felony, slanderous, life-taking accusations that he made against members of the NOI. Why do I have to be an expert on his family? How am I an expert on his family when I just grabbed his own words that he's saying publicly against members of the NOI? Now I'm and defending our honor and defending our laws and our morals, defending our history, but now I'm an expert on his family. So this is the grade level of characters that I deal with. But again, you know what I'm saying? I just got off the phone with my bro. Well, got off as you can see, FaceTime with my brother Tariq. Brother Tariq, a lot of y'all, if y'all on the East Coast and Philly, y'all know Brother Tariq. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then you don't. But you know, of course, the FOI gonna politic, and we gonna do what we do, and you know, it is what it is. So I just, like I said, wanted to clarify that this don't have nothing to do with no other groups or communities of Black Sunni Islam brothers. We have no problem whatsoever with our Sunni Muslim brothers and sisters, but it's certain factions, it's certain ones that it appears to me that certain elements of Saudi Arabs are using our brothers, you know, or something, sponsoring or something, but I don't know what the deal or the agreement or the contract that they have with them to reward them if they'll go at the NOI. Reward them if they'll use their influence or whatever to go at the NOI and try to stir up something and even draw other Sunni Muslims to their defense. It reminds me of the story of Moses or Musa in the Holy Quran and in the Bible, where, you know, on a day of, you know, carelessness on the part of the people, you know, it was two men arguing or whatever, and Moses was there, and, you know, one of the dudes was from his tribe and another one was from another tribe, and they was fighting, and the one from his tribe called out to Moses or Musa for help, and Musa jumped in and struck the one that his tribesman was fighting with, it struck him with his fist and unalived him, right? And then y'all know the story. He came to find out that it was his own tribesman that was in the wrong, and it had involved Musa or Moses in something that, you know, Musa was a rider, Musa was a slider, so he didn't play them kind of games. So if it looked like it was up, the real sliders or whatever in the Sunni Muslim community, if one of they, you know, if Mutar is crying like, you know, these NOIs is doing, they out of bounds, they violate, and they cry, that, you know, and your own Sunni Muslim brother, you know, going step to his own brother, his own tribesman aid and try to get at the NOI. But then you might find out that your own tribesman was foul. He was foul. He was a devil. And then Musa then had to be on the run, and he was like, never will I be a backer of the guilty, and Allah have mercy on me and protect me and this and that, because, you know, my own tribesman was using our faith and our, you know, interpretation in our community to shield his own personal whatever agreement or contract that he had with somebody or some people that I don't know nothing about. So then Musa had to be on the run, and he had to actually leave, you know what I'm saying? And then he was blessed that Allah forgave him and chose him, but he had to be on the run and get ghosts for 8 years or 10 years. And that's when he met, you know, Jethro and found his wife, and just, he's like, surely you're protected. You could stay with me, you know what I'm saying? And for 8 years, but on condition that you marry one of my daughters and take care of them and blah, blah, this and that. So I'm just trying to let y'all know the wisdom of how these devils and these Satans play and are being played, and to let y'all know that we, as members of the NOI under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the FOI especially, do have no problem, no beef, have no feud, no quarrel whatsoever with the Black Sunni Muslim community in general whatsoever. I don't want y'all to think we do. I don't want any FOI to think that we do. None of it. Have no issue. I'm strictly singling out Mutar Bill, formerly Napoleon from the Outlaw, and anybody who agrees with his slander that the NOI had something to do with the unaliving of his parents when he was 3 years old. That's all. That's it. That's it. So I don't want to be here no longer than I have to, but like, subscribe, share, definitely share this, because this is vital information. This is for the cause of unity and solidarity and cleaning up our streets and helping our young, YNs, these little YNs that's sliding on each other. We got to stop all of this. And this is what we're doing in the street. FOI been doing this. And it's other communities, Black Sunni Muslim brothers is doing it. Everybody trying to do it. So anybody that's going to insert themselves with some demonic little beef or accusations, emotional accusations like that, that's the enemy. That's the enemy. It's not the mastermind, but that's the pawn or tool of the real enemy. So I'm just calling it out. So like, subscribe, share this. This is your brother KAM-PAIN live show, lunch hour, and I'm out. Peace.